Welcome to DUDIR Academy. In this video, I am explaining about pulse oximetry. So the purposes, indications, mechanism and how to use the pulse oximetry, the factors affecting oxygen saturation and the clinical significance. Also, I have included some of the important questions with its answers. If you are watching for the first time, subscribe the channel and give your feedback in the comment box. So let me start. What is pulse oximetry? It is the measurement of red blood cells' oxygen carrying capacity. So pulse oximeter is a simple non-invasive device which is used to assess the arterial blood oxygen saturation. And it is assessed by means of a sensor attached to the client's finger, toes, nose, earlobe, etc. And a selected wavelength of light is passed through a vascular bed. So pulse oximetry is a small lightweight device which is used to monitor the amount of oxygen carried in the body. And it is a non-invasive painless test that measures the oxygen saturation level in the blood. That is, the sensor device is placed on a thin part of patient's body and the device passes the wavelength of light through the body part to a photodetector and thus assess the level of oxygen saturation. And the normal oxygen saturation is 95% to 100%. And it assesses or it provides the important information about the cardiopulmonary dysfunction. So this can be considered as the fifth vital sign. Oxygen saturation is considered as the fifth vital sign. And the normal oxygen saturation is 95% to 100%. And the pulse oximeter was first developed in Japan during the early 1970s. And it offers a rapid, non-invasive, cost-effective and reliable measurement of oxygen saturation. So pulse oximeter is widely used in different clinical settings like the intensive care settings, and recently its use began as a screening tool for detection of congenital heart disease. Also, nowadays we can see the pulse oximeter has recently started gaining attention for its potential in diagnosing and monitoring COVID-19 symptoms. So it has become a part of a larger screening and testing process of COVID-19 patients. And pulse oximeter is recommended for early detection of COVID pneumonia. So that is now the recent significance of pulse oximeter. Next is the purposes of pulse oximetry. It measures the capillary blood oxygen saturation. It detects the presence of hypoxemia before vital signs develop, and it assesses the response to the therapy and assess the need to decrease the number of arterial blood gas specimen drawn. So we can say pulse oximeter can be considered as an early warning device. Next is the indications, that is for unstable patients with sudden change in blood oxygen level, then patients who will need evaluation for home oxygen therapy, and patients who need supplemental oxygen at rest and with exercise. So next is the mechanism. Here the red and infrared light is passed through a pulsating arterial vascular bed such as the fingertip or the toes or the thin part of the patient's body. And the photodetector measures the transmitted light as it passes through the vascular bed. The wavelength used are for the red light it is 660 nanometer and infrared 940 nanometer. The inbuilt algorithm compares the amount of absorbed wavelength and calculates the oxyhemoglobin bar deoxyhemoglobin ratio. So this ratio is recorded as the percentage of arterial hemoglobin saturation, and thus we get the oxygen saturation, that is a percentage of oxygen saturation. These articles used for pulse oximetry, that is the pulse oximeter, then finger or ear probe, then alcohol pads and nail polish remover. Then regarding the procedure, explain the procedure to the patient, then maintain hand hygiene, then select the appropriate site for application of the sensor. Use the patient's index, middle or ring finger or the earlobe or bridge of the nose. Then check the proximal pulse and capillary refill of the pulse closest site. Then use the proper equipment. Use probe appropriate for the patient's age and size, and prepare the monitoring site. So cleanse the selected area and dry it, and remove the nail polish and artificial nails, and then we can apply the probe securely to the skin. Light emitting sensor and light receiving sensor are aligned opposite. Then connect the sensor probe to the pulse oximeter. Then check the operation of equipment, the presence of audible beep, waveform on the monitor and all, and set all the alarms of the pulse oximeter. Then check the oxygen saturation. At regular interval we can check the oxygen saturation. So check for any skin irritation or signs of pressure in that area. Also check for any problems with the equipment. And here we are measuring two numeric values by taking this measurement, pulse oximetry, that is oxygen saturation, and also we are getting the pulse rate. So for absent or weak signal, check the patient's vital signs and condition, and check the connections and circulation to the site, and record the application of the pulse oximeter, its type and size, and also the nursing assessment can also be recorded. And some of the special considerations: do not use the pulse oximeter if the light indicates low battery. So we have to check the battery level. Then move the sensor to alternate sites for patients with peripheral vascular diseases and diabetes. And adhesive sensors can be used on hands and feet of children. For children we have to use adhesive sensors, as the children may be moving the hands and feet. Next is the factors affecting oxygen saturation. So first one is light. That is, the bright light such as operation theatre light or sunlight directly on the probe may affect the reading. So shield the probe from direct light. The next is shivering. That is, movement may make it difficult for the probe to pick up the signal. Then pulse volume. That is, pulse oximeter only detects the pulsatile flow when the blood pressure is low due to hypovolemic shock, or cardiac output is low, or patient has arrhythmia and all. So the pulse may be very weak and the oximeter may not be able to detect the signal. The next is vasoconstriction. So in case of vasoconstriction, it reduces the blood flow to the peripheries, and the oximeter may fail to detect a signal if the patient is very cold and peripherally vasoconstricted. Then carbon monoxide poisoning. So carbon monoxide poisoning may give a falsely high saturation reading. That is, the carbon monoxide binds very well to hemoglobin and displaces oxygen to form a bright red compound called carboxyhemoglobin. So that is also a factor affecting the oxygen saturation. Then next is the impaired circulation may also affect the oxygen saturation. The next is the hemoglobin. That is, if the hemoglobin is fully saturated with oxygen, the oxygen saturation is normal. That is in case of anemic patients and all. An anemic patient may not have enough functioning hemoglobin in the blood to oxygenate the tissues, and the small amount of functioning hemoglobin in the blood may be well saturated with oxygen. So the patient may have a normal saturation reading, but the patient may not have enough oxygen going to the tissues. So that is what happening in case of anemic patients. So these are the factors affecting oxygen saturation. Then the clinical significance of this oxygen saturation and also the management. That is, if the oxygen saturation level is 96 to 100%, it is considered as normal. No need of active management is needed. But if it is 90 to 95%, it is acceptable to hypoxemia, so continuous monitoring is needed. If it is 80 to 90%, then it is considered as hypoxemia and oxygen therapy is provided here. And if the oxygen saturation is less than 80%, we can consider that as hypoxia and cyanosis, and ventilatory support is given. So this is the clinical significance of pulse oximetry or oxygen saturation. Now we move on to the important questions related with this topic. So first question is, the safe and simple method of assessing oxygenation is? Options given: pulse oximetry, ABG analysis, spirometry, capnography. Here the right answer is pulse oximetry. Second question, incorrect reading of pulse oximetry saturation may occur in patients with carbon monoxide poisoning, anemia, finger pain, all the above. The answer is all the above. Then identify the following instrument given below: disposable thermometer, disposable tongue depressor, disposable SpO2 probe, none. Here the answer is disposable SpO2 probe. Then which of the following can cause false reading on pulse oximeter? Dark skinned patients, fast pulse rate with normal blood pressure, overhead lights shining on probes, oxygen treatment. Here the answer is overhead lights shining on probes. Dash may reduce the chance of a successful oximeter reading. Options: fever, hypertension, arthritis, hypovolemia. Here the answer is hypovolemia. Pulse oximeter measures: options: hemoglobin level in blood, cardiac output, pulse rate and percentage of hemoglobin saturated with oxygen, amount of oxygen contained in the blood. Here the right answer is pulse rate and percentage of hemoglobin saturated with oxygen. Pulse oximeter give information about tidal volume, cardiac output, blood volume, oxygen saturation. Here the right answer is oxygen saturation. So thank you for watching the video. Subscribe the channel and also share to your friends.